Hey, warm greetings to all. Welcome back to another video on our Java series. In this video, we will be talking about some of the major concepts that are used in most of the programming languages. And these are termed as OOPS concepts or object-oriented programming concepts. Basically, there are four pillars to our OOPS concepts: abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, and polymorphism. Let's start with abstraction. Basically, abstraction is a process of hiding certain irrelevant details away from a user. A cliche example of that would be that of a user driving a car. As a user, he needs to know how to drive a car. That is the only thing he is concerned about. Whereas, let's say the thermodynamics behind how a car functions is something that is irrelevant to him. So that is hidden away from him, right? Similarly, when it comes to programming languages, there might be situations when certain codes needs to be hidden from the user because that might be relevant to him. And that can be achieved by using abstraction. Also, this makes our code more readable. I know it's a bit theoretical, but no worries because we will be seeing this in action when we talk about abstract classes and interfaces. For now, we can start with the next pillar of OOPS, that is inheritance. I think you guys know what inheritance is. But still, in human terms, it's just like that of a child inheriting the properties and behaviors of his parents. In a similar fashion, when it comes to programming languages, you can create your own child classes and parent classes, and you can enable these child classes to inherit the properties and behaviors of his parent class. And this can be done by using inheritance. I will just create a scenario to show you the use of inheritance and how inheritance can be done in Java. For that, I am going to create two classes, namely parent and child. Alright, class parent and class child. So these are the two classes that we will be using here. As a parent, he will be having properties like, let's say, int age and string name and many other properties. We can stick on to the basics. And he will be exhibiting several functionalities like, let's say he will be able to eat. For that, I will be creating void eat function. And I will just simply print something like sysout, he can eat. Similarly, he will be having other functionalities like void think function. Sysout, I will just print he can think. Alright, so these are the properties and functionalities that has been defined for my parent class. Now coming to my child class. As a child, he will also have the properties like age and name, right? And he will also exhibit the functionalities like eat function and think function, right? So let's for a minute think that inheritance was not there or oops was not there. Then what would have happened? I will have to rewrite the entire code again within my child class. Right, I will have to rewrite the entire code again within my child class. There is no provision to reuse my code. But with OOPS concepts and with inheritance, I will be able to inherit all the properties from my parent class. Now, all the properties and behaviors of my parent class can be inherited to my child class and can be reused here. I need not rewrite the entire thing again within my child class. Instead, I can inherit them from my parent class. And in Java, inheritance is done by using the keyword extends. Okay, we say that my child class extends parent class, thereby inheriting all the properties and behaviors from my parent class. I can show you that by creating an object of child class, that is child c1 equal to new child function. Now if I try to access the properties and behaviors, like let's say if I try to access age or if I try to access eat function, what happens? We can see that here age, you can see what's happening. I'm able to access the age parameter. So this was something that was not defined within the child class but only within the parent class, but due to inheritance I was able to access that using the child class object. Why? Because child class is having access to all those parameters. I will just initialize it with a random value and I will just print the age parameter to see it in the console. Fine. Now I am going to try and access some of the functionalities of my parent class, the methods of my parent class. c1 dot eat function. You can observe that I was able to access that eat function. Why? Due to inheritance. Now if I try to execute this code, run as Java application, you can observe that the age and the statement within the eat function both got executed and both got printed onto the console. That is inheritance. And another thing is that let's consider another scenario where let's say my parent didn't know how to dance, but I know how to dance. All right. So I know how to dance, the child. So child knows how to dance, but the parent doesn't know how to dance. So that scenario can be implemented by creating a function here, dance function, and I'm going to print something like sysout I can dance. All right. So this is a function that is only available to me, the child. So I can print that using c1 dot dance function. Now if I execute it, you can observe what happens. You can see the output, right? So this is what inheritance is. With inheritance, a child class can extend a parent class and thereby inherit all his properties and behaviors, and a child class can have his own properties and behaviors, right? So a child class can extend the parent class can and inherit all the properties and behaviors of his parent class, and he can have his own properties and behaviors. That is how inheritance works. I hope the concept of inheritance is clear to you all. With that, I think we can move on to our next concepts of OOPS, that is encapsulation and polymorphism. I'll be doing this encapsulation and polymorphism in a separate video because our video is getting a bit lengthy. So we can conclude this video for now, and I hope you guys were able to understand the concept very well. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask. I will be happy to help. Until next time, it's your friend Sajan, and we will meet in our next video.